Oh, welcome back to the latest news from Bali in Indonesia. This is June 15th, 2022, and my name is Bruce. I was just looking at some ships out at sea. And what is the weather like today? It is partly cloudy and really windy. Right now, the wind speed is 23.4 kilometers per hour. Windy, and 30.8 degrees Celsius, and the humidity is 60%. Oh, good news. Maybe it will not rain today. A lot of stuff to cover as usual, and I've already got a couple of things I wanted to talk about. And there is some good news and bad news in today's video, unfortunately, and let's start with the bad news. The bad news? The numbers. Yes, national new cases, 930. Wow. National recoveries, 548. National deaths, 10. Bali new cases, 26. Bali recoveries, 6. And Bali deaths, 1. And the government is getting concerned about the rise in numbers, and there's going to be a couple of segments on that today. But first, I'm going to talk about the digital nomad visa because it's come up again. Pak Uno, the Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy, mentioned this at a news conference on Monday, and so I'm just going to have to talk about it. I said I wasn't going to before, but he keeps bringing it up. So let's look at it. Foreigners working from Indonesia will get a digital nomad visa. Okay, that may get a digital nomad visa. According to Pak Uno, the government is currently discussing the issue of providing digital nomad visas or visas for remote workers for foreign nationals, also known as WNA here, and business travelers across relevant ministries, agencies, so across government ministries, because there has to be some coordination on this. Pak Uno said, after the COVID-19 pandemic and digitalization, many remote workers or digital nomads want to live in Bali and other tourist destinations in Indonesia. And then he comes up with some more numbers. I don't know where these surveys are. I'd love to see these, but I've said that many times. Based on a survey by the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy, 95% of remote workers make Indonesia, especially Bali, their first destination for remote work. Many companies like Airbnb are said to allow their employees to work from anywhere. Okay, what is the survey that they created? Who did they talk to? How did they come up with 95% of remote workers? But we do know that Bali is a popular place for remote workers, not just Bali, but other parts of Indonesia as well, and I've talked about that before. And up till now, there's really nothing in terms of visas for those people. The idea of making money while you're here is, well, it's controversial, to say the least. Pak Uno said, it's a necessity that we must accelerate the issuance of digital nomad visas. In my opinion, 2022 is the right year to publish an innovation, and this innovation is a game changer. Digital visas for remote workers. And according to this article, the digital nomad visas plan to be valid for 5 years in order to attract tourists to enjoy quality and sustainable tourism in Indonesia with a much longer length of stay and quality shopping that can have a positive impact on the local economy. Pak Uno also noted long-term visas are also expected to target the silver economy, namely foreigners who may have a preference during winter to live in Bali or in other destinations because they have a more friendly climate, and that is the Bali second home visa. So what about this? Okay. You've got the second home visa. The prices already came out for that, right, a few months ago, and no clarification, no details on that yet. There is that 6-month visa that you can come in for, and you do it one time. There is the 60-day B211 visa that allows people to come in and then renew the visas for a total of 180 days, and if that 6-month visa came, it would make things a lot easier, less time going to immigration and updating your visas. So those are those two things that have not been discussed, even though the price has been out yet. And there's the digital nomad visa, and this was talked about actually last year, and nothing happened. And you notice that that was not on the price list, and so there's no telling what's going to happen with this digital nomad. And there's a question: you got a 5-year visa. If you're a digital nomad, and this depends on how people define themselves. If you define yourself as a digital nomad, and I'm going to use just 2 examples that I know. One guy, he stays for a couple of months and then he moves on. And he stays in a couple of months and he moves on. And he's lived all over the world. And he makes some good money doing YouTube videos and other things. So that is what I would see as a digital nomad, somebody moving from place to place. I've got another friend who considers himself a digital nomad, but he stays for a year in one place, not 2 months. He gets in, he finds a nice place to live, a place where he can work, and he stays there for a year, and then he moves on. In terms of 5 years, and my guess is a 5-year visa is going to be relatively expensive. I don't remember the exact numbers that were thrown out when this was first put forward, but it was not cheap. So all we can do is wait and see, as I often say. But Pak Sandiaga Uno has been pushing this again, and well, why is he pushing this again? On Monday, there is a rumored shakeup. Well, I guess it's a little more than a rumor. Shakeup of cabinet ministries for Pak Jokowi, and that could be announced today or tomorrow. Is Pak Sandiaga Uno going to be targeted? No telling. There are a number of names being floated about. A bunch of ministers were coming and going to the presidential palace the other day. We'll just have to wait and see what happens there, too. So a lot of wait and see. Gee, it's Indonesia. Surprise, surprise. Indonesia expects case surges. Omicron subvariants BA4 and BA5 detected. The health minister, Pak Budi Gunadi Sadikin, predicted an increase in COVID-19 cases after 2 new subvariants were found in Indonesia. As of today, there are 20 cases of Omicron subvariants in Indonesia, consisting of 2 cases of BA4 and 18 cases of BA5. Of the 18 BA5 cases, 12 have been identified in West Java, 3 in Jakarta, and 3 in Bali. And the cases of BA4 were reported in Jakarta and Bali. And I already talked about the Bali cases the other day. According to the health minister, Pak Jokowi instructs everyone to be alert and careful because our vigilance, our conservativeness, our caution have yielded results that the pandemic condition in Indonesia is relatively good compared to other countries. However, the health minister appealed to the public not to worry too much about the new virus subvariants. He said the mortality rate is very low. So although the new subvariants generate a surge in cases in a number of countries, their peak of cases, hospitalization rate, and rate of death are far below the earlier variants of Omicron. And here's a topic I like to talk about related to the virus, the PL app. COVID-19 cases increased. Government asked to tighten check-in cares to protect. Okay, that's the foreign translation of Peduli Lindungi. Epidemiologist from University of Indonesia, Pandu Riono, asked the government to further tighten supervision of everyone's compliance in using the PL app. He said it's important to anticipate cases of COVID-19 which are starting to creep up in the capital city. Pandu assessed that the PL app was well designed to prevent people who had not been fully vaccinated or were confirmed positive from traveling outside. But unfortunately, he saw that scans through the PL app were no longer closely being monitored. Oh yeah, well, most people have seen this for a long time. Even the use of the application is no longer implemented in a number of places. Pandu assessed that the weak supervision of community activities using the PL app was one of the factors that is contributing to the rise in COVID-19 cases. Pandu said the problem is not only increased mobility of people, but supervision by the government. He said the government needs to continue supervising things even though they are getting slack at this point. In addition to monitoring, he also emphasized that the government needs to continue to boost the COVID-19 vaccinations in order to anticipate a spike. And rabies. Haven't talked about rabies in a while, and rabies in Buleleng. Rabies in Buleleng go crazy. Victims, families ask the government to act fast. So the families of victims of rabies or rabid dogs in Sari Mekar village in Buleleng finally spoke up. They urged the government to move faster in controlling rabies. Currently, the family of the late Nyoman Puri, 62, is still busy preparing for ceremonies related to his death. Even so, the family hopes that the government will immediately take steps to prevent rabies. According to the son of the victim, one of the disappointing things is the obligation to observe dogs that bite. According to him, the victim had come to the hospital to get an anti-rabies vaccine, but at that time the medical officer did not immediately give it to him. The medics asked the victim to keep an eye on the biting dog. A few days later, this dog was killed because of its rampage, and it was not known to the victim that it was killed, and so the victim did not get the vaccine at all. The dog's death was apparently not reported, and so he got rabies and he died, unfortunately. The head of the Buleleng Health Office, Dr. Suchipto, admitted that the victim had come to the health facility. He also confirmed that the victim was not immediately given the vaccine because, from the results of the medical examination, the case of the bite that occurred was classified as low risk. So the medical team recommended that the victim monitor the dog. Dr. Suchipto said, "It's a shame, too. After the dog was killed, it was not monitored, examined, nor was it reported to the relevant officers." Dr. Suchipto said sufficient availability of the vaccine in Buleleng. However, if dog bite cases continue, the government could run out of the vaccine. Currently, there is a supply of about 3,500 vials. And the doctor appealed to the public to be actively involved in preventing rabies cases. The way to prevent it is actually very easy, he said. Tie the dog up or put it in a cage. Don't release it onto the street. This is very effective in controlling rabies. The Perbakel of Sari Mekar village said that his party is going to draw up stricter regulations regarding dog maintenance procedures. The rules will be formulated in form of village regulations. He said, as soon as possible, we will make these regulations. And apparently, some people are independently eliminating dogs that they suspect of being rabid, unfortunately. And so rabies is still an issue here, unfortunately. And so an update on the Borobudur situation, and the president has gotten involved. Jokowi cancels plans to impose Borobudur ticket hike, and so it has gone all the way up to the top. The president's decision was informed by Public Works and Housing Minister Basuki following a limited meeting with the president. The point is there will be no increase, he said, after leaving the presidential palace. This effectively means that the fees are going to stay the same. $50,000 for locals, $25 for international tourists. I don't know why they put this as dollars, because you're not supposed to advertise things for dollars in Indonesia. It's supposed to be in rupiah. And students will continue to be charged only 5,000 rupiah. However, the government assured that the number of visitors will stay restricted to 1,200 people a day. The visitors will have to book the tickets online, and they are also not allowed to step into the temple area without special footwear, which is aimed to preserve the fragile stones of Borobudur. And my guess is you'll have to pay for those. Okay, so this is another instance of the government puts forward a plan, and then they get a lot of blowback, and then the plan is canceled. So it's always a good idea to wait a little bit before you go crazy about something in Indonesia, because if there is a popular pushback, the government tends to retreat. And here's something interesting, and this is happening around Indonesia. Motorcyclists wearing flip-flops will be fined. This is an explanation of the Metro Police. So the National Police will hold Operation Obedience 2022. One of the highlights is the use of wearing flip-flops when riding a motorcycle. So will flip-flop wearing motorists be fined? No, not according to traffic director. There will be no tickets. But this is happening all over Indonesia now. I've seen reports about this in other provinces, not just in Jakarta. It appears that this is going to be a national push to get people to stop wearing flip-flops when they're driving. Paksambodo explained that the use of flip-flops is in the spotlight because the accident fatality rate can be higher when people do that. This is an appeal for efforts to improve safety and prevent fatalities in traffic accidents, he said. And 2 Bules Behaving Badly stories. One is an update and one is a new one. And the new one is, well, not good for the person involved. Semarang Immigration Act on French citizen who fakes data to get ITAS. Okay, ITAS, also known as KITAS. The head of the Semarang Immigration Office has revealed that his office has successfully prosecuted a French foreigner who was strongly suspected of violating Article 123, letter A of Law Number 6 of 2011 Immigration Act. This French national faces up to 5 years in prison and 500 million rupee fine for this. And so what did the Frenchman do? Well, he went to renew his KITAS, and when he did, he didn't have his wife with him. And well, last time I renewed my KITAS, I didn't have my wife with me either, and I was asked to come back with her. So he didn't have his wife with him, and he apparently gave them some excuse. And when they were looking at the documents that were signed, his wife's signature didn't appear to match the signature on his previous document, and so they were suspicious. And they went to the wife's house to see and found a divorce certificate. Yes, the French citizen was no longer married. It appears he had forged his wife's signature in order to get his KITAS. That is a violation of the immigration law, and you do not want to mess with immigration about this kind of stuff. French national, well, he's in a load of trouble. And so ending up, we're going to do the update here on the tree climbing Australian. As I mentioned in the last video, he was ordered to attend a ceremony and pay for it. Well, he attended this ceremony, but he did not take part in it. Apparently did not pay the money additional money that he said he was going to pay, and the villagers were told to talk to immigration about getting the money. And so he apologized to everybody. He was there along with an immigration officer, accompanied him. And why did the immigration officer accompany him? Because apparently he's being kicked out of the country. And somebody mentioned the other day, I forgot who it was, why don't they just put a fence around the tree? Well, apparently there are signboards at the entrance to this area. However, they're only in Indonesian. And so the Perbakel said, we only use Indonesian. Maybe in the future we need to add English. Let it be bilingual, 2 languages, and maybe Russian as well. An official from the immigration office said there must be action. We will order him to leave the territory of Indonesia. I didn't see that coming. It looked from the last video that I did that they were going to let him go because, well, he wasn't naked and he apologized and he was going to pay. Why did they decide to deport him? Was it because he didn't pay up? Was it because he didn't take part in the ceremony? Was it just because they're going to get tougher about this stuff now in an attempt to ward it off in the future? Who knows? But you've been warned. You better watch your manners here and think before you act, because things could get tougher. Now that we've got a lot of tourists here and we're getting some more of these incidents, you may see some more action on the part of immigration in terms of harsh sanctions against people that violate the rules. And that is it for today. If you found the video helpful, useful, informative, non-irritating, scintillating, humorous, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. The videos are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and a cooking video on Sunday. And this Sunday's video, the one coming up in a couple of days, is on Soto Ayam. And boy, was that good. Thanks for viewing. Be kind to someone today. Stay safe. And I will see you on Friday.